Hi, everyone. Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo. We're at Acrisure Stadium following the Steelers' 17-14 loss to the Tampa Bay Bucks in the second preseason game of the summer. Your Steeler Report brought to you by Savinas, Kane, and Gallucci, mesothelioma and asbestos lawyers with 85 years of experience gaining millions of dollars for their clients. Go to sdklaw.com. Ray, you don't put a lot of stock in a win or loss in a preseason game, and certainly I'm not going to, and the Steelers aren't either. But I thought one of the more encouraging aspects of the game was the performance they saw from their young players, in particular Kaleb Johnson, and maybe most especially Roman Wilson, who was basically like a rookie after missing all of last year.
Yeah, Roman Wilson, 2 catches for 72 yards, including a 42-yarder that set up their first touchdown. Gerry, he's been doing well in practice for the last 2 weeks, and he's carried it over into the games. Now, can they still use a number 2 receiver if Calvin Austin doesn't get back for the season? Probably, but this is encouraging news that he went out there and performed well again.
Yeah, his timing has been good because of Calvin Austin. Did not play again today. He's missed extensive time at camp. I'm not sure he's going to play Thursday. I would imagine at this point, Ray, there's no point in playing him Thursday because then it's, like 16 days until the regular season, and whatever is bothering him, we don't know. The Steelers aren't required. The NFL does not require teams to report injuries in the preseason, but that gives them more time to get healthy. They don't seem to be concerned. But in the meantime, we're seeing Russell Wilson. We're seeing it at camp, too. He's becoming more active in the passing game. You see Aaron Rodgers using him more, looking for him more. And I thought the 2 big catches, the 42-yarder, as you said, and then the 30-yarder as well in the first quarter, were big moments for him right here in his first game at home.
Yeah, and the 42-yarder was interesting. They were going against Tampa Bay's first-team defense. Cornerback Jamel Dean was on him, gave him like a 15-yard, 20-yard cushion, and he still ran past him, was able to beat him deep. So that was encouraging. He's a well-rounded receiver. Running deep wasn't really his specialty at Michigan, but he's showing that he can do that in the NFL.
The other thing we saw, too, from a young player was Kaleb Johnson, their third-round pick, like Roman Wilson, a third-round pick from 2024. Mike Tomlin said the other day that he wanted to see Kaleb Johnson run more instinctively. He looked like he was too bothered with details down in Jacksonville in the first game. 8 carries, 20 yards. You could see him run more freely today. He had a 14-yard run. And on their second touchdown drive, he had 3 consecutive runs of 9 yards, 8 yards, and 1 yard to set up the touchdown. And so Mike Tomlin said after the game that he liked what he saw from him, and he said he expected that, second game in.
Yeah, 11 carries for 50 yards. Gerry, we did not get to see him with the first-team offense. I think that's maybe a little bit of a sneak preview to what they're thinking to start the season. I think it's going to be Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell to start, with the first-team offense. But, good to see Kaleb Johnson get going a little bit here in the second game. He's the future, right? He's a third-round pick. They want him to be the guy next year, and it was good to see him get off to a better start tonight.
Yeah, Jaylen Warren held out again, second game in a row, as did a lot of other players. Basically the same crew that was held out in Jacksonville was held out tonight, with the exception of Nick Herbig, and it was almost as though Tomlin might have regretted that decision. He went out of the game on the Bucs' second offensive possession with what was called a hamstring injury, but Mike Tomlin said after the game he's fine. But the one injury that looked like it could be troublesome, Ray, was their long snapper, Christian Kuntz, coming out of the game in the first quarter. He made what was probably a touchdown-saving tackle on a punt return and got up and was holding his chest, had a hard time getting off the field, was in a lot of discomfort on the sideline. Mike Tomlin said after the game they got good news on Christian Kuntz, so that tells me whatever we thought it could have been, maybe a pectoral muscle injury, maybe it's not so bad.
Does that mean it's not a season-ending pectoral injury, or is it just something that might keep him out for a couple of weeks? He'll be okay to start the season. It was interesting. Logan Lee, backup defensive lineman, went in and did the long snapping. Actually did pretty well. We've seen that.
We didn't see any gaffes.
We didn't see it. And what was it, 2008? James Harrison had to come in when there was an injury. That didn't go so well. Logan Lee did very well tonight.
The other guy, when Tomlin mentioned after the game, Mike Tomlin mentioned after the game, he says the 2 young guys in particular, and I thought he was going to say Kaleb Johnson and Roman Wilson, and he said Kaleb Johnson and Derrick Harmon, their number 1 pick. And we're seeing him be the disruptive player they envisioned when they took him, 21st overall. Y.A. Black's another one, but Derrick Harmon stood out tonight as well.
Yeah, 11-yard sack. He was very athletic. He got in there early, and he's obviously a first-round pick. He's got the wheels too, so that was good to see. Y.A. Black was in there. He did not take part in the joint practice. He showed up a little bit tonight too, so keep hearing about those two rookie defensive linemen, Gerry. Obviously, Derrick Harmon is going to be a big part of what they do. I think Y.A. Black is as well.
Ray, I watched Y.A. Black a number of times specifically, and a lot of times he's being double-teamed, and he is still fighting through the double-team blocks, not getting to the quarterback, but he's disrupting that offensive line. And, the radio, I do the pregame show, as you well know, and I was talking with Max Starks and Ramon Foster, who's doing the sideline reporting during the preseason. They were talking about Y.A. Black, and they both said that Y.A. Black reminds them so much of a young Cam Hayward, who when Cam got here, he just used his body and his physical skills to just go disrupt the offensive line until you learn the finer points of what you need to do. And they said that's exactly what Y.A. Black's doing. And when you watch him on the field, that's exactly what he's doing, going into that offensive line and trying to disrupt a play.
And he's probably an inch or two taller and I think 20 pounds heavier. So, guys fall all the time in the draft, Gerry. I'm not quite sure why he fell to the 5th round, but he doesn't look like a 5th-round pick. That's a guy who looks like he belongs in the NFL, and I think that's going to be a steal for the Steelers eventually.
Mike Tomlin said he also liked the offensive line. He said it's starting to come around. We haven't seen Isaac Seumalo play, of course. They're going to hold him out, I'm sure, until the season opener.
Yep.
But the 4 young guys are getting a lot of time together. Fortunately, no injuries. But Mike Tomlin said he liked what he saw tonight.
Yeah, Vita Vea, one of the best nose tackles in the NFL. Zach Frazier went against him today. I don't know if it was Zach's best moment, but you're not going to find many guys like Vita Vea on your schedule. So he got to experience that. I thought Broderick Jones, they were only in there for 2 or 3 series. No noticeable mistakes. So once again, good to see. If Troy Fautanu can stay healthy, if Broderick Jones can lock down that left side, the offense is going to be much better.
Steelers end their preseason Thursday night in Carolina, in Charlotte, against the Carolina Panthers. I think a lot of the players that you didn't see tonight, especially Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Jalen Ramsey, I really don't think they're going to play Thursday night either, Ray. I don't think you're going to see them in this offense and defense until they open the season September 7th. I will be in Charlotte for that game, and then Ray and I will rejoin you for post-game reaction once that regular season starts September 7th in New York against the Jets. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching postgazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.